All right, here we go. Make sure these are running. We are rocking and rolling. How goes it, everyone? Blanco-L here, once again. Super excited to be here as usual, but this time in particular because I'll be opening the floodgates to something completely new, with us, all over again. I'm now jumping head first into reviewing some of those amazing experiences we go through together with Paws versus players. Now, as some of you may know, we're starting as far back in time as we can possibly reach, stepping into the Norse realm with God of War. The truth is, we're not exactly talking a new title here, but we are talking an absolutely breathtaking and timeless experience, which makes it a perfect fit to start off with. Now let's get right into the juicy details, shall we? So God of War is a spiritual reboot to the original franchise, which followed Kratos through his ascension from man to demigod to full-blown god. Yes, God. Now, I'm not going to get too much into the details of the past here, being that we are paying attention to this God of War at the moment, but if you do know about Kratos' past, you do know that he was an absolute animal, to say the very least. Nonetheless, here in this new story, in this bold new beginning per se, we continue Kratos' story after he leaves Greece in order to find new beginnings. There's a bit of a gap here, but we do learn that Kratos did find a new life. He finds love, settles down, and even has a child. Though if we know anything about the God of War, we know that nothing comes without a cost. We're thrown into the story at the point of Faye's passing. This is Kratos' love. And we're introduced to a withered Kratos and a broken Atreus, their son, who both simply want to honor Faye's wishes of having her ashes spread from the highest peak in all the realms. This all makes way for the beautiful journey that we embarked on with Bad Mojo's Paws versus players. We got to learn how Kratos deals with his past, present, and even future. We watched as Kratos' relationship with Atreus hit rock bottom, and we also got to see it turn into a full-blown father-son bond. We explored new realms entirely. We made new friends, new enemies, new memories. We struggled through every obstacle, and we felt every single emotion together, which truly made for something special. Though the story does follow Kratos and Atreus, we also do get to know a couple other names throughout the journey that are absolutely integral to the adventure. Kratos, as we mentioned, is withered. He's older, but he has not lost his touch. His past still haunts him. He hasn't forgotten what he's been through, what he's done. On the other hand, his newfound fatherhood may have created a whole new meaning in him, as anything that comes in any sort of contact with Atreus is doomed to Kratos himself as a fate, for better or for worse. Atreus is strong-willed, hungry to learn and grow, yet still very young and absolutely lost. He has no idea what his father, or he for that matter, truly are, and this has everything to do with him. And the more we learn about Faye, the more we learn that she too had her fair share of secrets. But this does not stop Atreus from searching for his truth and owning his destiny. Mimir serves as Kratos and Atreus' guide throughout this adventure and through all of the realms. Being that he acquired all the knowledge that there is to pretty much acquire, he becomes an essential part of the team very quickly. Freya is the warm center of Midgard, watching over the forest, the animals, and even Kratos and Atreus all the same. But she too plays a couple cards close to the chest, as she is not all that she seems. Balder is the big bad wolf of these woods. His very existence seems to revolve around hunting down Kratos and Atreus, regardless of the cost, and for no apparent reason. At least that's until we find out that perhaps they weren't what he was after all along. Jörmungandr, the World Serpent. An ancient giant that supposedly holds all of Midgard together. It becomes an integral part of the overall journey, and even serves as a guardian for Kratos and Atreus at some point. Brock and Sindri, two dwarven brothers that both Kratos and Atreus befriend early on in their journey. They recognize the axe on Kratos' back that Faye gifted to him, and after a quick confrontation, they even serve as Kratos and Atreus' armorers. Faye. Though Faye isn't exactly present in the story, she becomes more of a part of it as it goes on. By the end, we find out that Faye had pretty much designed the entire journey on purpose, and that her people, her real people, are an integral part to the past and future of the 9 realms themselves. When it comes to the world, Midgard is more than enough to have to handle and explore. But God of War also provides multiple realms to dig into. Though we can't exactly call it a respective open world, we can say that it does include massive areas to explore, different realms to visit, and even plenty of different side objectives if you're into taking your time and looking behind every corner. Now, in terms of gameplay itself, God of War doesn't just talk the talk, but it walks the walk as well. Going from its traditional over-the-top view from its original stories to the new over-the-shoulder perspective, the entire story becomes completely seamless. The movements and environment work hand in hand to immerse you into the world completely. The combat feels so fluid, you sometimes even find yourself thinking you're watching some sort of cutscene, but in reality, you're all hands on deck. When it comes to difficulty, I will admit, God of War does pack an intense punch. There are very high-risk situations that not only test your might, but wit as well. Also, being that it is indeed borderline open world, there's plenty of room for sidetracking. It's fairly easy to get lost when it comes to objectives, especially if you're foreign to the more demanding experiences. I give it a solid 4 out of 5 barks on the difficulty scale to start with. In all, I also give God of War a 4 out of 5 on the bone scale here. I do want to give it a full 5 due to its amazing story, immersive gameplay, and overall timeless experience. But I also want to be as honest as possible with this. I definitely think that most games can benefit from a cooperative experience. Now, I do realize that single-player titles do have their respective domain, and I do enjoy them. But when it comes to something that has 2 or more integral characters, I just think why not push for a little cooperation? So I'll be the first to say, and very much willing to go under fire here, let's go ahead and bring co-op to God of War so we can crank that up to 5 bones. When it comes down to it, I don't want to give away too much because although God of War is an older title, I do think that it is worth the visit if you haven't already. And if you have, then at the very least I could say it would be worth the revisit with us. God of War is definitely a title for the books, and it's one that I recommend for anyone who is not only looking for a good story, but for an experience that they could take with them outside of the screen even. Now, if you don't see yourself being able to pick up the title just yet, or if you don't see yourself picking up the title at all for whatever reason, or even if gaming itself isn't your thing at all, yet the story still intrigues you a bit, there's nothing to worry about, as you can enjoy it all right here on YouTube with P.v.P and I. Every heart-pumping episode. And yes, that includes even if you've sat through it on your own before, or even if you've tuned into the live streams via Twitch. Now, I'm sure it's easy to ask yourself, How could rewatching this with Paws versus Players be any different than my own playthrough? Or if I've already seen the live stream with P.v.P on Twitch? Fair point. For one, if you've gone through the story yourself, then that's exactly it. You went through the story yourself, and now that's not a bad thing. That just simply means that you've never actually gone through the story here with P.v.P and the community. And if you've watched the streams, then I couldn't stress this anymore. The streams and the episodes are two completely different things. What the live community gets on Twitch is indeed very different than that of the remastered episodes that roll out on YouTube. As for the episodes, they're completely redesigned, re-edited to flow, look, and feel more cinematic all around than that of the live streams. The sit down with your favorite snack or even your favorite person and enjoy something totally amazing kind of deal. As for the live streams themselves, well, you'll just have to head over to Twitch TV to get a taste of that. There's just so much that you find out yourself to be able to slap into a simple video. With that said, I definitely think God of War is a title that's worth checking out. But even if you can't pick it up, or again, even if you've already sat through it on your own, you can catch every episode completely remastered and released right here on YouTube, hosted by me with Paws vs. Players. So I hope you enjoyed the first of many reviews that we'll be tackling together, because believe me, there's many more to come indeed. And thank you so much for sticking around and enjoying this with me. Now please don't forget to smash that like, follow, and sub, as it truly means more to me than you guys even understand, and we are only simply just getting started. And I don't just mean with God of War. It's been my pleasure, y'all, always. And of course, we hope to see you again right here next time with us, with Bad Mojo's Paws vs. Players, and I, Django-L. Be sure to turn on those notifications, everybody. Take care, and until next time, Django out. For now.